Mr Loder.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. It's a pleasure to speak in this debate, and it's also a pleasure to follow my honourable friend, the member for North East Derbyshire. Today we are debating the opportunities for future generations, and as the member for West Dorset, I want to make sure that we are in the best possible position to contribute our part to this considerable Conservative government effort for our nation. It is also important, though, that the government hears loud and clear that we in West Dorset are also a strong candidate for levelling up too. I am greatly inspired, Mr Deputy Speaker, by Alan Turing, the inspiration for the government's Turing scheme. He went to school in my hometown of Sherborne and went on to crack the Enigma code of the Second World War. Mr Deputy Speaker, as a farmer's son who has grown up on the land and watched my parents feed the nation, I am proud that we also have one of the best land-based colleges in the country at Kingston Morwood. It plays a vital role in empowering young people to stay at home in their community rather than having to leave it for a good job far away like I had to do in my 20s. That is a key priority of this Conservative government and one that I wholly support. I ask the government, though, to ensure that we in Dorset, and particularly Kingston Morwood, can play a much bigger role in providing this opportunity, not just to young people in Dorset, but further afield as well. There are two bills specifically that the government has set out that I commend to the House and support: the Environment Bill and the Animals Abroad Bill. Being from such a beautiful county, you would not think that my constituency of West Dorset has the worst place for air pollution in the entire country. But environmental issues do indeed affect us all. The village of Chiddock, between Bridport and Lyme Regis, has the highest levels of nitrogen dioxide in the entire country from traffic on the A35. The pollution is more than double the government limit. The issue is not new. It has been ongoing for some time, but urgent action is required, and progress can be made with the new powers that the Environment Bill will provide. Mr Deputy Speaker, at the end of the last parliamentary session, Her Majesty the Queen gave her royal assent to my private member's bill, now the Animal Welfare Sentencing Act 2021. But during the second reading of that bill, I outlined to Parliament my continuing mission for animal welfare in this country, and I am delighted the government has again responded to my petition for improved animal welfare in the Queen's speech. Our debates on animal welfare in this place have traditionally been about pets, but it is high time that we get a grip with the care of other animals as well. I want us to ban live animal exports, and I see that the government's intended bill will give us this opportunity, because it is disgraceful that our well-cared-for farm animals can be loaded onto a lorry and sent thousands of miles by land and sea to destinations in southern Europe or further for hours and hours and hours. As a farmer's son, I can tell you that no decent, caring farmer wants to see their animals get shipped abroad for fattening or slaughter. I also want to see, Mr Deputy Speaker, an end to non-stun slaughter of animals in the United Kingdom. I petition the government that we could find an opportunity within the legislative agenda here to stop this practice that causes unnecessary suffering to our animals. The Food Standards Agency have shown that in 2018, 94 million cattle, sheep and poultry were slaughtered in England alone in this manner. The Veterinary Policy Research Foundation says that of those animals non-stunned, for ritual slaughter purposes, some 70% is sold on the general market without labelling. It is a matter, Mr Deputy Speaker, that we need a full debate for in this House. Mr Deputy Speaker, Her Majesty the Queen's speech has been an example of how this Conservative government looks to govern this country, to bring opportunity to it, as well as to Dorset and the South West across the country, and I wholly support the government in its endeavours.